Man, oh man. So let me just say, first of all, in no way, shape, or form am I discouraged. Some people message me about this. No, when it comes to posting my opinions, especially on Twitter of all places, I am used to the backlash in regards to anything from these shows I review. And my latest post that I made a couple days ago, if you watch my Zatima content, specifically the episode synopsis for season 3B, you know that I've stated it appears, it isn't confirmed, but based on the synopsis and the trailer and quotes from the trailer, among other things, it seems that Connie is going to show Fatima that Jeremiah is still alive. And despite knowing this information, she isn't going to present this to the authorities to release Zach from jail. She keeps reiterating the fact that she wants him to learn a lesson. And my thing is, I think that she's trash for doing that. Now, I didn't put that specific thing in the tweet, but here's what I put. So I've read all the synopsis for the back half of season 3. It's like I said after we got the trailer for season 3B several weeks ago. If she is willing to let Zach sit in jail for a crime he didn't commit, all so he can learn his lesson, then I'm done with her. Well, specifically the Zatima version of Fatima, considering I'm still on the okay, they're separate universes or whatever. As much as I want to be wrong about the theory, all the evidence I've seen seems to point to this specific route. Honestly, I think this is, in all caps, worse than Karen having Zach arrested in Sistas season 2 over the stolen credit card situation. Fatima will know Zach is innocent because Connie takes her to the hospital to show her Jeremiah is still alive, but she won't make a move because he was doing too much. And then I said thoughts, and then I got a bunch of retweets, mainly from mad women, a couple of men too, saying like, "Oh yeah, but I've heard, I've heard this stuff. I hate, you hate black women. Oh, you always got something negative to say about Fatima." You know what? Oh, this one tweet actually cracked me up. You know what? I used to watch your channel, but after season 5, when you started doing those reviews and talking trash about Fatima, I quit watching it. And you talk about these theories, and you're wrong all the time anyway. Yeah, spoken like a person who hasn't watched any of my content, because I'm not always right, but damn near most of my theories are either on point or right on the mark. So, or close to it. So not sure what you're talking about there. But yeah, for me, let's evaluate both situations here. Karen's business credit card was taken somehow, and it was charged up to $5,000. All charges made under the name Zachary Taylor. Pretty damning evidence. Now, when she presented this to the other girls, they didn't buy it. It's like, Zach, he's a lot of things he's done. You've told us about all the things he's done for over the past 3 years to you, but I don't think it's in him to like steal your card and run up a bill like that. Sabrina said, look, what I can do is I can ask one of the employees at one of our sister branches of the bank I work at. She can see if she can find video footage of the card being used at ATMs and whatnot, and we can get to the bottom of this, because anything like an ATM or whatnot has a camera, and then we can see when your card is charged, the time, the amount, and even though it's under the name Zachary Taylor, will the person who's using the card actually be Zach? It'll take a day or two. Karen did not wait. She went to the police station the next morning, filing the warrant for Zach to be arrested, and he was. Now, back it up a little bit, because I personally think the sisters had a hand in this. Now, keep in mind, indirectly, they had a hand in this. Karen was going to wait, but I forgot the exact conversation. I know all the girls were over at Sabrina's apartment, and they were teasing Karen about Zach. I think Danny might have even brought up the fact that, he has someone else now or something like. Basically, they were saying stuff to get under her skin, and I think as a way to kind of show that I'm over Zach, she opted to file that warrant for his arrest. And unbeknownst to her, Hayden had drugs planted in the wheel, what was it, the spare tire or one of the back tires of the chain breaker vehicle, Fatima had loaned Zach. Then he got arrested, and that those drugs meant that he was going to go away for good. And of course, the major fallout of this was Fatima actually helping Zach get out, and from there, he told Karen, that was the moment I knew I can never go back to you. Of course, Karen did even worse. I think after Zach got out of jail, that's when she confronted him at the airport on the plane and slapped him and everything. And yeah, and then at the end of season 3, that's when he's like, yeah, when I was sitting in that jail cell, that's when I knew I could never go back to you. So Karen had a lot of proof. But despite waiting for the full-on confirmation from Sabrina, she opted to have Zach arrested anyway. And later in the season, Sabrina said, hey, I got an email from my friend at the other branch, and here's the video footage. And we never saw who the person was that took the card. All we know is that it was said to be one of Karen's customers, so it was not Zach. It was not Zach. So, she seemed to have Zach arrested out of spite. Even though evidence pointed to him being the person that did it, she refused to wait for Sabrina's, confirmation and got him arrested anyway. On the flip side, you have Zach, and this is really tough because, like I said, Fatima aside, it seems like every character, except for maybe Nathan, was really out of character in Zatima season 3, all for the setup of Zach getting arrested by going after his brother. So Zach had everybody and their mom telling him not to go after Jeremiah. Don't settle things the way you're used to settling things because you have a lot more to lose now in your life. Then on top of that, you have Fatima, who did warn him, like, if you go down this route, I want to walk away, this, that, and the third. So yeah, she did warn him, but either way, he did what he did and then got locked up for it. So my thing is this. She did say, well, actually, in the leaked episode, which I believe was episode 12, she did tell Angela and Preston that she tried to get him out. She talked to whoever she could, probably her dad too, who's a retired judge, and not to mention she works at a law firm, so she probably talked to, several different attorneys there. But based on the quote unquote evidence, mainly just the video, that Zach is going to go down the river. There's nothing you could do. But the thing is, it seems like she's going to find the evidence needed to get him out, but refuses to do so, all to teach him a lesson. And to me, that's what kind of makes it worse. What's that saying is, evil triumphs when good men do nothing. And I know this is a woman we're talking about here, but hear me out. I don't know if you could say Fatima tried, because if she did, she probably did it, half-assed. I'm not saying that she wouldn't have given it her all, but, the Fatima from previous seasons, whether it be Sistas or Zatima, she ride or die for that man. Keep in mind, when Zach got arrested because of the whole child support thing for Michael, she immediately assumed Hayden was the one that did it. And what did she do? That baseball bat wrecked his car, went after him and Gary in the apartment, tore the stuff up in there, even his father's urn, and then got arrested. And then this Fatima, she is going to try to get Zach out, but then it doesn't work. So she's like, well, I'm just going to leave him in there. There's nothing I can do. I'm just going to move on with my life. But then when you're presented with the whole card, the cold, hard, I don't want to say cold, hard evidence, like, Jeremiah's a dead corpse, cold and everything, but she's presented with the evidence needed. It's like, hey, Fatima, you tried a bunch of keys and the lock just wouldn't open. But here's the key that you need to open the door. Open the cell for Zach and he's good to go. No, I want him to learn his lesson. If you ask me, that's worse than what Karen did. Don't get me wrong. Both are awful. I mean, if you really think about it, Fatima is allegedly going down this route so Zach learns his lesson. But then Karen did what she did almost to prove in the same vein, to prove a point, not only to the girls, but herself, that, oh, I'm over Zach, because if I was really still feeling Zach, I wouldn't go down to the police station. So in a way to show that I'm truly over him and I'm done with him and I just want my money, I'm going to get him arrested. That's my takeaway from it. That's my takeaway. But you can't blame me for being done with Fatima, because it just gets on my nerves the way Tyler and the writers, because to my knowledge, Tyler wrote season 3, and I believe season 4 is when other writers will have a hand in Zatima. But Fatima, she will always do certain shit. Yet when Zach does the same thing, he gets chastised for it. Because you could say what you want, oh, pregnancy, hormones, and being stressed out. That's why she did what she did to Deja's apartment. That was completely uncalled for. Because I said, not long after we got the mid-season finale, so how would you feel about Zach if the roles were reversed? Let's say, because remember, Deja did call the cops on Fatima. Let's say when the cops came to the door the next morning, instead of arresting Zach, they arrested Fatima for what she did over at the apartment. And Zach tried, maybe a few routes to get his, his lady out of jail. But then he just said, you know what? I can't do anything else. I tried everything. I talked to my contacts, this person, that person. But, some of the people that she, were at the party had video footage on their phones. And, heck, aside from like the cake and the photo and the DJ table and whatnot, you have the one person who, had their car, just beaten up by her baseball bat. So all of that, what am I supposed to do? So let's just say, I don't know, for whatever reason, somebody like Angela, let's just say Angela. Let's say Angela is the Connie in this discussion. Zach, I was there. I went in there first to, see if Deja would, turn the noise down and, get these people to move their cars because they were blocking, y'all's driveway and whatnot. And Deja refused to do so. And then before, anything could happen from there, that's when Fatima showed up and things escalated. Basically showing like, hey, if you could, I don't know, present this to the authorities, maybe they'll show some leniency and have a cause and effect thing. Because remember, you're the landlord. So you could say like, oh yeah, the rules dictate, tenants can't have, a bunch of loud noises and disturbing the peace and, blocking the driveway, especially, for the landlord. And so basically you have the ability to go in there, speak on Fatima's behalf and potentially get her out. And he says, no, you know what? I love Fatima, but she be doing too much. She be pulling out her gun, taking a baseball bat. She's always, having smoke for everybody. So I think she needs to learn her lesson before she can get out of jail, because I don't want this to happen again. She's pregnant, but I don't want our child to grow up with a mother who's doing stuff like that. Like, what happens if she blows up on somebody one more time and then she gets sent to prison? Then what? I won't be out here a single father. Now, do you see where I'm going with this? Now, do you see why I have such disdain for Fatima if this is indeed the route she's going down? Because in the trailer, she even said something to the effect of, Zach, I love you, but I don't know if I can love you the same way before because, I don't know if I could trust you. AKA, I think it was basically said in the vein of, I don't know if I can love you in the same way I did before, because if you act the way you did against Jeremiah somewhere down the road, then you're going to be locked up again, and this time it's going to be for good. So I don't want to put my heart in a vulnerable position like that. So it's just the hypocrisy of everything going on. And like I said, Karen was full of it for doing what she did. And I'm not trying to say that she's a better person than Fatima. Both are wrong for doing what they're doing. Now, don't get me wrong or twist my words. Zach, even though he didn't kill his brother, he is guilty of the action of, assaulting his brother physically. In the event of Karen, no, his name was attached to those charges, but it wasn't him. So the evidence looked like he was guilty, and she was the one that hit the button that basically got him locked up. In the other situation with Jeremiah, the video makes Zach look guilty, and really he did it to his own self. And not to mention those random strangers who were taking the video footage while he was beating his brother. But when it boils down to it, I think both women are awful with Karen having Zach arrested because she assumed he did the crime. Fatima's wrong for knowing she has the ability to get him out because Zach is not guilty for what he's arrested for. But instead of actually doing something about it, she's like, he's going to have to learn this lesson before he comes out. And this is just yet another example of Fatima always wanting Zach to admit when he was wrong, to apologize, to grow and change, yet she never has to put in any of the fucking work. Ever. So you can say what you want about me. Oh, you hate black women. Oh, one person went so far as say, well, outside of the skin tight dresses and the lingerie, you don't care about Fatima. And I'm like, what gave you that idea? Seriously. But then again, hey, the more people that want to hate, go ahead. The responses on X, Twitter, the negative comments or dislikes on my YouTube videos, Instagram posts, whatever. Hey, you're feeding the algorithm. You're putting my stuff out there. So thank you. The retweets, the quotes, whatever. Hey, thanks for the traction. But it's just one of those things where instead of the weakest dogs barking the loudest, the wrongest dogs are barking the loudest because few people want to analyze the situation. Y'all just going off your emotions. Like, I love Fatima and no, nobody can talk bad about her, even though I'm telling the damn truth. You know I'm telling the truth. Yeah, Zach was wrong for doing what he did. Everybody around him told him not to do it. But to have an innocent man arrested, sitting behind a jail, the bars of a jail cell, and you can get him out because he's not guilty, but you refuse to do so, you're trash. And kind of like with Connie getting this whole thing in motion, even if she is a, key role in getting Zach out of jail, let's say he tells Nate and Tony and they go down to the station to get him, I'll look at her, with a little more like, okay, that's good. But, she's still the one who got this thing started. But I'll just look at Fatima like that's bad because, I know it's not going to happen, but imagine if Zach gets, hooks up with Connie for getting him out because Fatima didn't do anything. And then people want to look at Zach crazy. It's like, well, when you think about it, she said she was done with him. So technically, wouldn't they have been broken up at that time? Yeah, I'm being petty, but I'm just saying. So say what you want about me, but I'm only speaking the facts. And hey, if you're still on the channel, you're a real one. Even if you disagree with me, but you want to come at me with an intelligent debate / conversation, to just completely disregard what I say by responding with, oh, you're anti-black women or this or that. That means you don't know how to get your point across. If you resort to insults and, basically crapping on my character because I said something about a character you like, I don't know what to say for you because you certainly don't know what to say to me about the point I made. I want to see the compelling arguments. So, sure, you could say that, no, Jeremy, Fatima, what she's doing isn't as bad as what Karen did. Okay, that's fair for you to have that opinion. But I don't know how you can explain to me that Fatima is right by not doing something to get her man out of jail. Yes, she tries, but after she has the proof right in front of her to get Zach exonerated, she refuses to do so just so he'll learn his lesson. Yes, it doesn't matter. Yes, she did say don't do it. She did say what would happen if he did get locked up. But to have him sit behind a jail cell under the assumption that he did kill his brother, don't you think that's some traumatizing shit? Do you know how effed up in the mind he's going to be from that? Yeah, he'll be relieved when he finds out the truth, but the man just lost his mom. Hasn't even buried her yet. So then to have him sitting behind a jail cell under the assumption that he killed his only other, immediate family member just so he'll learn a lesson, you're trash for that. And I wouldn't want to have a damn thing to do with you after I got out. So that's all I got to say on the subject. Of course, once the episodes come out And maybe I'm proven wrong that this isn't the way the story goes, but I'm pretty sure it is. We can, follow up on this discussion, but let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll catch you all in the next one.